also welcoming you back from that draw match between Tanzania and the Central African Republic that ended 0-0. We do pray that the teams can pull up their socks, because as far as the commentators have been saying, it doesn't seem good for either teams. Otherwise, without further ado, let's get straight into tonight's bulletin with our top story tonight. Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, Uganda Broadcasting Television has hosted British sports commentator Rob Walker, and who is in Uganda for the Rwenzori Marathon and the upcoming Uganda vs South Africa CHAN match on Monday. Walker interacted with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation team with a display of humor and happiness on appearing on the national broadcaster, and particularly meeting with Deogracius Otai, the sports commentator in action. Rob Walker praised the country's growing sports culture, the energy of fans, and the dedication of athletes putting Uganda on the regional map. Walker highlighted how local athletes' commitment mirrors global standards, inspiring fans and younger generations alike. He noted that Uganda's sporting events, from marathons to football, are becoming platforms for talent development and international exposure. These are some of the highlights from the show.
Driving for victory for Ethiopia, but Barega's on his shoulder, and here comes the Lion of Uganda, Joshua Cheptegei. He won the 5,000 in Tokyo. Can he do the 10 here? He's the world champion. Can he become the Olympic champion? He's up onto the shoulder of Barega. Barega can't respond. Kajelcha driving for the line. They're shoulder to shoulder, eyeball to eyeball. Who's got the heart? Who's got the belief? Who's got the drive? And there it comes. He's beating his chest. He's done it. Cheptegei is the Olympic champion over the iconic distance of 10,000 metres. A legacy is completed tonight. This achievement will never, ever be forgotten in the Pearl of Africa, because their shining star has delivered once again.
Wow, 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 that's a good one. That's a good one. Now,
okay,
Peter Otai.
I think I have no job here. I'm out.
No. Peter, you sit. Peter, come back and sit. Come back and sit.
I had a slight stumble at the end, so I haven't got a chance.
So, Peter, it's your turn. Uganda Cranes have actually scored the goal. So, take us through the process of getting that goal in terms of commentary.
Okay.
On the count of three, you start. 1, 2, 3, start.
Well, here come the Ugandans looking for the options. Ball just goes away to Abdul Watambala, and he gets that ball deep down to the right-hand side of the wing. There is a chance for Alan Okello, who tries to swing that ball through. It's Ivan Ahimbi-Sibwe, one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he makes it count. The boy from Kachenche gives Uganda the lead. It's 1-0 here on UBC, and Rob Walker picks up his beer and smiles.
The advent of Uganda Airlines
on the screen, I can see. What was this about?
Gosh. Do you know, that is proof that some Muzungu can dance.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is...
So which dance was that, Rob?
That, I don't know. I was freestyling it. I did a moment of importance for Ugandan tourism internationally, that you can now say you can fly direct to Entebbe, to Kampala, and my head was fried, so I had to take a rest.
What a way to start a bulletin, and it's obvious that Rob Walker is soon becoming a Ugandan. In more news, Uganda Cranes captain Alan Okello has rallied fans ahead of the decisive clash with South Africa in the Total Energies CHAN tournament at Mandela National Stadium in Nambole. The Cranes, who led Group C with 6 points, must win to secure a historic first ever quarter-final berth on home soil. These are the details.
Concentrated on the next game, which we play on Monday against South Africa. The past games are history. Now we need to, to concentrate on the next game, which is coming out next, and hopefully we do our very best and give the very best to win the game. I always just want to give my best for the team. My fellow players helping me, on the field of play, and for me doing my best for the team to win the game. I never go out there, to win these accolades. It's always about the 3 points, the team getting the 3 points, and for me, that's what's best for me. As long as the team gets the 3 points, it's a win for me. We know what is at stake, and we know what we are supposed to do come the next game for us to, to go to the knockout stages, which was our ambitions from the beginning. And yeah, we have a opportunity to grab this chance and make history. And the history is to go out of the group stage. And come Monday, we are willing to do our very best and give 100% for the badge and make the fans happy. I would like them to come in large numbers, like they always do. This time around, we need the loudest support, the amazing support they always give us. With them behind us, we are ready to go. I would say that we are ready to go.
And furthermore, in our bulletin tonight, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has commissioned the Wagai gold mine and refinery in Alupe Village, Busia district. This launch marks a major milestone in Uganda's pursuit of value addition and sustainable exploitation of its mineral wealth. The multi-million-dollar facility stands as a testament to Uganda's commitment to harnessing natural resources responsibly, sustainably, and profitably for the benefit of all Ugandans. Dennis Sigoa had the reports.
So, I want to thank Wagai. We'll get more money, but we can also use this gold here in our other industries, like jewelry. The gold of the rock of Mujenyi, you can't use it in jewelry. You can't. If you want to make a jewelry, ebitemagana bw'oyagala kubikola tosobola kukozesa eyamugenyi. But this one now we can jewelry, any other. I think even the computers use some gold. How can Africa get out of poverty with such squandering all resources? You are getting less money. You can't use that material in other industries. You are losing jobs because these people are now they are going to employ. They are talking of 5,000 with President Ruto, with President Kagame. We shall launch a very powerful steel factory there in Sororo. Using the iron ore from Kabare, using the coal from Mombasa. So Uganda can quickly become a highly industrialized country because we have got everything.
领导、嘉宾、朋友们，表示热烈的欢迎。Guests and friends， 对一直以来 are consistently cared for, supported, and assisted in the.
When the Usukuru Phosphate plant was commissioned in 2018, it was hailed as transformative, promising jobs, revenue, and development for Tororo. Today, the plant lies dormant, raising questions about stalled projects, elusive royalties, and unmet community expectations. Our reporter Henry Okrut has the details.
Politicians, please let the investors do their work.
The expectations were high when Usukuru Phosphate and Fertilizer Manufacturing Plant was commissioned.
We now have stable power supply, piped water that has extended in most parts of the district, Your Excellency.
The project was, however, paused, leading to delayed benefits to locals.
I heard that a court had stopped the man who had put 600,000 $30 million on the ground.
When you go to High Court, they cancel the lease.
This is part of the mystery that has seen mineral royalties and potentials remain intangible.
For me, I don't care which Chinese owns what. What I care about is that my fertilizer is processed. My steel is processed. Now, if I see the one who is moving, I let him move, and we can award.
From phosphate to limestone, this land of Tororo holds the promise of prosperity. Yet, for many residents, that promise remained buried under bureaucracy, stalled projects, and elusive royalties. This was supposed to be a game changer. The Usukuru phosphate plant, launched with fanfare in 2018, was expected to transform Tororo into a hub of fertilizer production and industrial growth. But today, it stands motionless, its silence echoing the frustrations of a community left behind.
When we complain like we are complaining today, tomorrow you will see government vehicles coming there, maybe for envelopes or what. So sincerely, we need government's intervention.
We expected businesses to rise here. We expected, personally, I bought a lot of land because we wanted to put up houses for rent. And people went for loans to set up hotels, and then what? We in anticipation of heightened business. But they were very disappointed.
The plant, backed by foreign investment and government support, was projected to generate billions in revenue and mineral royalties. But delays in operationalization, disputes over land compensation, and unclear ownership structures have left it in limbo.
We need them, the ministry also, periodically to write the local government about how much they expect from these companies. For the case of Dongsong, we have never got any write-up from the ministry because the ministry who knows the quantity which has gone out.
While the phosphate plant stalls, Tororo Cement Industries continues to thrive. The company extracts limestone and other minerals daily, fueling Uganda's construction boom. But how much of that wealth trickles down to the district?
They pay taxes to us, but others who have good heart also have done what we call social corporate responsibility. So they do additional things like solar PV. They have done many healthy camp. They have put a borehole for the community.
We have also have Solar North. The other time they pay us 4.2. Now they're paying us 4.6 million shillings. This is part of reality for the area there. And from that money, we sure that this year we bought some days for the schools, and we are also working on some of the things, make some services. But you know also the calculation of reality.
Under Uganda's Mining and Minerals Act, royalties from these operations are supposed to be distributed as follows: 70% to the central government, 15% to local government, 10% to the sub-county or town council, and 5% to landowners or lawful occupants. But in Tororo, these percentages remain theoretical.
Usually for local governments, they really struggle with raising revenues. And for us, we're trying to see what are those areas where actually these communities have potential to raise revenues so that they can support in service delivery.
The Center for Budget and Tax Policy's 2024 report paints a troubling picture. While Bulisa District has made strides in tracking oil royalties, Tororo lags behind in managing mineral revenues.
Because you start to wonder if a district like Tororo, that is that endowed, can only raise about 5% of own resources, where does the other money go?
Like the infrastructure in Tororo is not a CSR from these mining companies. Those are government infrastructure projects. So what we're saying is that we'd like to see more of that in other districts like Tororo that host these mining facilities.
For the people of Tororo, whose population stands at approximately 42,865 people as of the 2024 National Housing and Population Census, the stakes remain high. Mineral wealth could fund better schools, hospitals, and roads. But without accountability, the district remains stuck in a cycle of extraction without development.
Not all minerals processed in Tororo, the raw material comes from Tororo. The factory is in Tororo, but raw materials could be coming from either immediate districts or even further away.
Tororo's minerals are not just rocks. They are resources meant to uplift lives. But until the royalty system is transparent, accountable, and enforced, the district's riches may remain buried in silence.
If we have this amount of money coming from the royalties, can we then empower these communities to start looking at that resource, but also demanding that that resource is used for their benefit?
The district can also demand for annual engagements with the ministry, and they point out where they have issues. Now, mostly what is happening is that the ministry decides to do a routine inspection, or the minister. Then we request to do a courtesy call. Then the district demands for a council meeting. Then they list all these things, but it should be a two-way. We can say, let's agree once a year.
From stalled plants to active quarries, the story of Tororo is a cautionary tale, one that demands answers, reforms, and above all, justice for the communities living atop Uganda's mineral wealth. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you very much, Henry Okrut, for that in-depth story. Now, in more news, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has described the late Mary Karoro Okrut as a patriot who served her country with distinction. His tribute was delivered by the Deputy Speaker, the Right Honorable Thomas Tayebwa, during her burial in Bushenyi District. Details in this report.
Former minister and celebrated author, educator, and advocate for women's empowerment, Mary Karoro Okrut, has been laid to rest in Bushenyi District during a ceremony preceded by a funeral service led by Bishop Johnson Twinomujuni of the West Ankole Diocese.
In other words,
the Uganda police band escorted the body, paying tribute to the deceased. Deputy Speaker Tayebwa read President Museveni's message, highlighting Okrut's contributions.
I wish to
extend heartfelt condolences to the family of the late Honorable Nakawa Division and all Ugandans. Before the NRM came to power in 1986, the women, the youth, and the marginalized groups were excluded from participating in the country's governance. The NRM rejected such sectarian tendencies which discriminated against people on account of their gender, tribe, religion, etc.
He added that Parliament would honor and appreciate her work.
Maria Kapundia angaje yakunda president we yakunda next winner checha NRM kandi abikora cyane kandi omugejo yakunda abantu ba Bushenyi yakunda n'abantu ba Uganda bonka so tuzakora cyane cy'kwasibuka government turemu twamuhereze sifinisa.
Professor Emmanuel Karoro, representing the family, thanked the president and the government for granting her a state burial.
And especially our contact person not to be in Kuragana. Right Honorable Thomas Taiwo, the Deputy Speaker of Uganda. Right Honorable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Notable attendees included former Prime Minister Honorable Ruhakana Rugunda, Ministers Frank Tumwebaze, Cheyune Haruna Kasolo, Bright Ramirama, General Kahinda Utafire, and several members of Parliament. Okrut passed away at 71, having served in various roles including Minister of Information and National Guidance, Minister for General Duties and Senior Presidential Advisor on Public Relations.
Honorable Karoro was a prolific writer, an educator, a mentor, and a national leader. She was a good legislator and served in different portfolios as minister. The NRM party has lost a strong mobilizer and a very loyal cadre.
At the time of her death, she was planning to contest for a parliamentary seat, representing older persons.
She revealed to me that she was going to stand as an elder in the Elders Forum and a SEC. I said, Mary, you're talking about funding. What do we do about funding? But she said, God will help me. So that was Mary. Mary was a woman of valor. Mary was a woman of integrity, spiritual, loving, caring.
She was also a celebrated author, educator, and advocate for women empowerment.
For example, preparing the president's speech. For example, working with the media. You know, he was an interpersonal person. But we met afterwards as members of parliament and as ministers.
Benon Mukwaya with Nelson Akatuhurira.
And in more news tonight, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has assured foreign investors that Uganda offers one of the most favorable business environments in the world. She was speaking as she met a delegation of Indian investors pledging over $200 million in new investments. These are the details.
Last evening, the head of State House Investors Protection Unit, Colonel Edith Nakarema, led a group of potential investors from India to meet the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, at our office in Kampala. The investors were led by Dr. Chandra Sheshul, who is in Uganda for the first time to explore investment opportunities.
Based on my whatever survey, I will definitely convince other investors to create jobs, and all the youth who are now part of your country, they all get very good jobs.
And he has told us that he is very ready to work with the many global companies that he works with, that he has a solution, an IT solution, a software that he wants to donate to Uganda on how to handle traffic, that he has a solution to handle the traffic.
We are, the total delegation have come here about 8 to 10 people, and we are planning to invest more than $200 million. So we want to develop here the mixed township, which includes villa flats, developments like IT parks, industrial hubs.
Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, welcomed her visitors and assured them outright support to invest in Uganda.
So I want to facilitate you to make sure that you go through all the requirements in just a short time. So I am now directing the Uganda Investment Authority to facilitate our investments through all the registration processes so that you come and settle in just 2 or 3 months.
The Prime Minister informed her guests that Uganda offers the best investment climate with the best favorable conditions in the world.
Uganda received conventional rains. That's why when you landed into this country, you saw green. We don't irrigate what you saw. It's natural irrigation. We receive enough rainfall throughout the year. And that gives us a very favorable country for investment. Uganda is a peaceful country, one of the most peaceful countries we have in the continent of Africa. And this is deliberate because of our president. Uganda, because of that peaceful environment, Dubai, an organization in Dubai said Uganda is the most favorable investment destination.
She highlighted some of the benefits they stand to gain once they invest in the country.
We as government has put in place favorable conditions that can help our investors to invest here. We give tax holidays.
All machinery for value addition, including ICT, will attract 0% on import duty. 10-year tax holiday for manufacturing of consumers goods, including the ICT goods that also go outside the country, that if you are exporting 80% outside of the East African community, you will be enjoying a tax holiday of 10 years.
Uganda being an agricultural country, the Prime Minister implored the investors to take advantage of Uganda's coffee, which is currently the best in the world.
Uganda produced more than 70 million bags of coffee, and we surpassed Ethiopia. We are now the leading producer of coffee. That's another area where we can invest. Remember, we have been exporting our coffee in raw form, coffee beans. I was in Italy. A kilogram of coffee, which is value added, costs over $30. Between 30 to 40, depending on the season. Now you can see, if we had added value on our coffee from here, all that money will come here. We will get jobs. So you can add value to our coffee and sell it within Africa. Because the market is here. You don't even need to go very far. Where you have seen these temperatures is the way we see them in January, in February, December.
So I want to meet somebody who also takes care of the hospitality, tourism, what are those things, so that the experience, whatever they're going to get, it should be the best, better than what they got in Sri Lanka.
Everything is here, including so many species of birds. And the best foods in the world, original, best foods in the world. Taste our pineapple. You already tasted? Oh, bananas. All of them are.
And more in our news tonight, NRM Youth Leaders in Lango sub-region have dismissed claims that some candidates in the forthcoming youth elections are state-sponsored, warning that such allegations divide and intimidate voters. The elections are scheduled for August 25th at Kololo.
Someone comes to threaten the young people who should go and show their interest in their candidates, that the state has the candidate.
Now, when they say the state is behind such a candidate, you have some fear to go and line behind a particular candidate, because you know that once you don't go and line behind this candidate, then you are going to have a challenge with the state as an individual.
Leaders urge delegates to remain united, avoid intimidation, and vote freely, emphasizing the importance of supporting candidates with a clear vision and integrity.
First of all, on the issue of youth candidates, and even on our side as SEC members, nobody is sponsored by state. As we are now, it's an intern election.
The Minister for Information and Communication Technology, Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, alongside NRM Vice Chairman for Central Region, Godfrey Chiwano Kasubi, clarified the NRM primaries are based on individual merit and state support is only extended to officially endorsed flag bearers.
Looking at the future of NRM, we must empower these structures to sit, to discuss matters of NRM, to preach the gospel of NRM to the young people, to the women, to all people, so that that message from NRM is constantly heard in our communities for people to appreciate.
The youth should go to the youth, explain to them, and they should vote a youth of their choice. No one is sponsored by the state. No one should claim that is sponsored by the state. Under our primaries, under structures, the state does not support anyone.
The consultative meeting is part of a nationwide mobilization drive ahead of the NRM Delegates Conference scheduled for August 27th to 28th, where members will discuss constitutional amendments, management of party structures, and elect new SEC leaders. Ediulwa, UBC News.
The National Resistance Movement is facing internal tension as contestants in the party's Entrepreneurship League raise allegations of malpractice, sabotage, and unethical conduct. We have more details in this report.
A group of NRM candidates led by Awan Philip Kakuru have accused some contestants of hiding delegates, trafficking them out of the country, and denying others access to voters ahead of the upcoming elections.
Ugandans have been taken away from all these activities. They are in Tanzania, they are in Kenya, and the party constitution or guidelines of this electoral process were very clear that anybody who hides delegates shall be disqualified from the process. But we've written letters to the Electoral Commission of the party, to the Secretary General, and we've written to the party chairman, the Commander-in-Chief of our revolutionary movement. And we have belief and faith in him that these kind of mannerisms, these kind of characteristics are dealt with. And we send a clear message that the revolution is not for purchase, that the cadres of the revolution are patriots and cannot subject their national identity to an individual who's pursuing his own selfish ends to achieve this at all costs.
Let us play a fair game. If you are a candidate, play the game where the electorate is. The games of hide and seek is showing already defeat. If you hide the delegates, means you are defeated. Actually, you are not supposed to be a candidate.
That we put billboards in town, and somebody, the billboard where I was standing with the president, they cut our legs off and the positions we are contesting. This is malicious, this is unethical, and the NRM stands for ethical values. We have an ethical and discipline code of conduct, but we find that has gone out of hand.
The candidate must present his programs to the delegates, and then they weigh us according to the ideas each individual candidate has, so that then they will select based on ideas what is going to be done for our party.
Letters were sent to the NRM Electoral Commission and Secretary General demanding disqualification of implicated individuals.
And we engage you as a public to scrutinize the kind of leaders, the integrity of leadership that you expect to serve the country, because we are the ruling party. Are we a true reflection of what the public expects from us as a party? Are those the kind of leaders that you want us to lead you? into the socio-economic transformation agenda.
We also, I have personally had a message for some of them who have gone to Kenya that the situation is not good. They could be suffering. In fact, we are trying to find ways to return those who wish to come back.
NRM roles disqualify candidates who hide delegates, but with elections near, the issue remains unresolved. So that Kaye, UBC News.
More in our news tonight. Security has been tightened nationwide as Ugandans voted for division-level district councillors. The polls were hotly contested with several cases of fraud and violence reported in different areas. Let's take a look at the details.
Polling in Nakasero Ward within Kampala City, which comprises 14 villages including William Street, CVC Center, Nakasero, Owin and the Blue Room, was busy with the voters turning up in large numbers, sometimes creating long queues at several polling stations. Councillor candidates in the ward included Isma Kasozi and Sulaiman Chiaga, while the women's councillor seats were contested by Akankwasa Gifty, Nanyondo Farida and Inalubega Sarah. However, voting began late in most polling stations due to delayed arrival of polling officials, a situation that frustrated many voters. The election was further marred by outbreaks of violence, prompting an increased police presence in affected areas. Some voters were angry and abandoned the quakes, alleging that polling officials were not following the official register. In certain areas, the register itself was reportedly withheld, fueling further frustration. At William Street, a CPS officer confronted the polling officials over their failure to adhere to the register, resulting in a standoff. Out of a quake of about 700 people, only 20 were confirmed to be on the official register. Later, a scuffle broke out between security personnel and youths who attempted to disrupt the voting exercise, with the police arresting several individuals. Some candidates were seen celebrating, while others condemned what they described as the unfairness of the process. At a Shimoni polling station along Dowinton Road, tension escalated until police intervened to restore order. I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Thank you very much, Ivan Juko, for that story, and do expect more election stories coming your way. The government chief whip, Dennis Hamson Obua, together with MPs Linda Agnes Auma and Opio Samuel Achuti, have met leaders in Lango sub-region ahead of the president's visit. The discussions centered on the long-standing cattle compensation dispute, with Obua revealing fraud worth over 15 billion shillings in Otuke alone. He assured leaders that prosecutions will follow to recover the lost funds. These are the details.
Ladies and gentlemen, leaders of Lango in your respective capacities, this is an House preparatory meeting for the coming of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. You are all aware that His Excellency has invited selected categories of leaders from the 3 sub-regions of Teso, Lango, and Acholi. And the main reason why he has invited them is to talk about the subject matter of cattle compensation. The meeting of Teso took place yesterday at Soroti University. The meeting of Lango will take place tomorrow, Sunday, 17th, at Lango College.
Muslim pilgrims have expressed gratitude to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for his generous support in facilitating this year's pilgrimage to Mecca and Medina. Through the structured Imams and Emirates Association, the president sponsored 100 Ugandans with a fully paid Hajj package for the 2025 season. Let's take a look at these details.
Muslim pilgrims have expressed heartfelt gratitude to President Yoweri Museveni for his generous support in facilitating this year's pilgrimage to the holy cities of Mecca and Medina.
We thank our chairman, Sheikh Saudi Saidi, for the effort he has made creating connection between the president of Uganda and all imams of Uganda.
The commendation came during a vibrant Thanksgiving ceremony at Jamia Mosque in Tula, Kawempe Division, organized by Sheikh Kasauli Saidi, president of the Structured Imams and Emirates Association. The event also served as a fundraising drive for the mosque development.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Ssentamu tano eza
70
The gathering drew religious leaders, political figures, community members, and well-wishers in a show of unity. It opened with a sermon by Sheikh Abdallah Sechizevu, who underscored the spiritual significance of Hajj and praised Sheikh Kasauli's leadership.
Allah yagamba nti wa atimmu alhajja wal umrata lillah. Mugende mukole hijja mujijjuze ne umra nga mubikola kulwa Allah bibiri.
Sheikh Kasauli thanked President Museveni for his consistent support to Ugandan Muslims, urging Muslim civil servants to drive community development without discrimination.
Imams, they have been teaching about hijrah, but the opportunity of going to to fulfill the last will of Islam, it has been very difficult for them because it needs a lot of money. Therefore, we thank the President of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for that opportunity he has given our imams in Uganda.
Chief guest Mr. Issa Chiralira, Managing Director of Nile Humanitarian Agency, called on Kawempe residents to support President Museveni, saying he's the only leader who has consistently provided impactful services, including free Hajj opportunities.
We need to thank His Excellency, the President of Uganda, for having contributed those 100 hijjah to the faithful ones to go for hijjah. Hijjah is very important in the lives of Muslims.
Several political leaders and aspirants, including Hajat Farida Nambi, Hajat Hanifa Kaladi, and Zambali Blasio Mkasa also attended, pledging to uplift their communities while mobilizing ahead of upcoming elections.
Muslims to appreciate, first of all, to appreciate Allah for this day, and also to appreciate His Excellency the President, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, for offering the 100 hijjas.
The Thanksgiving and fundraising ceremony concluded with renewed calls for peace, unity and development within Kawempe and the wider Muslim community in Uganda. Benon Mokwaya, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
The State Minister for Disaster Preparedness, Lilian Aber, has commissioned 6 new water access points with 17 tap stands at Bulambuli Resettlement Camp, providing safe water for 1,700 people daily. She said that government is expanding tax waivers to support humanitarian organizations working in disaster response areas. Let's take a look.
Yes, there is, yes.
We decided that it would be proper to have a permanent water point here that will last for generations. So whenever the displaced people come here, they are able to find water. So this is the day that we have come to commission the water. It is having 6 access points with 17 total tap stands functional right now. It's benefiting currently about 1,700 people at a time, every day.
No, these are development partners who came up with this project to make sure that they come to our appeal, because government, as I told you previously, cannot do everything for disasters. So these Texas and Uganda, they came, approached us, and we gave them permission to approach the camp and they invest here. They have done water, and now people have water. They also gave people food. So we came to launch off the water that they had developed.
We are shipping in vehicles that should help us move very quickly in case disaster affects a particular area. We are also shipping in, for now, some fast food that can be cooked very fast. And this all needs some tax waiver. If we can have the tax waiver, we would be able to supply even more food in this camp.
The initiatives that support disaster or any humanitarian services, most times we have supported by waiving off taxes. So if you follow the right procedure, then the Office of the Prime Minister is able to support you in this process. But of course, after thorough due diligence to ascertain whether these items are coming to disaffected people. That means from the initial start of the project or the procurement of whatever you want to bring, it has to be well done and coordinated by under Ministry of Disaster.
Wonderful. But are we sure this 2 million is not going to cause trouble?
No.
Yeah, for them. They're not going to fight for it.
No.
In Bidibidi Refugee Settlement, Yumbe District, the story of 15-year-old Stephen Mubarak reflects resilience and sacrifice. Caring for his 2 younger siblings alone, Mubarak's life highlights the struggles faced by unaccompanied refugee children. Let's take a look at this story with Haruna Mutesasira.
At just 15, Stephen Mubarak, an adolescent refugee from South Sudan, has endured more hardship than even many adults.
Overthinking, even I cannot be able to get time to interact with friends. I'm not joining the group because they are the group of studies. Now I'm not attending in those groups.
In 2016, at age 9, Mubarak fled South Sudan with his parents, never imagining he would later be separated from them. The family initially settled in Zone 12 of Bidibidi Refugee Settlement, facing difficult living conditions.
Feeling sad, crying, headache, and overthinking. Even I cannot be able to get time to play with friends. Just sometimes I will lie on myself just thinking what to do, and even too much worrying.
By 2023, after domestic challenges, both parents disappeared.
No proper feeding. Now from there, the things become very difficult to me.
Reports suggest his mother returned to South Sudan, leaving Mubarak to care for himself and his siblings.
Performance, I was in Division U throughout the term. Past term, Division U, we have 6 sets of exams, Division U, throughout. There is no improvement because of feeling sad, not expressing happiness, crying, overthinking.
Since 2016, Mubarak has struggled with shelter and food until 2024, when he found support through TPO Uganda. Through individualized case management offered by TPO, Mubarak has begun to reclaim his childhood and regain hope for the future.
Individual counseling, which this individual counseling helped me in my performance. At the past, if you go to Corridor and find my details before me meeting TPO, poor performance, I was in Division U.
We conduct an assessment using standardized tools. We have the hot tool. We have that asks them how they are. Those tools help us to know how the child's mental well-being is. If the child is moderate, we enroll them under Journey of Life. Then if it is severe, we enroll them for CBT.
He shares his aspirations, completing his studies, finding a job, and caring for his siblings. Bidibidi settlement now hosts thousands of unaccompanied children seeking safety amidst the ongoing conflict in South Sudan.
Identify these children with psychological distress and refer them to us. When they refer them to us, the first thing we do is to do a psych education on what TPO does. Then after doing psych education, it's when now we get the children who can still again refer themselves to us.
TPO has provided mental health and psychosocial support to over 3,000 learners across Bidibidi and in the refugee settlements in West Nile sub-region. Haruna Mutesasira, UBC News.
And in more news, Nakawa Division Resident City Commissioner Bernice Edrin has issued a strong warning to suspected criminals terrorizing residents of Murimira Zone Kamocha. He also cautioned landlords and local leaders against colluding with wrongdoers, warning of tough consequences. Let's take a look at what she says.
During a security meeting held at Life in Christchurch in Murimira Zone, the RCC Bernice Edrin listened to residents as they voiced concerns over rising lawlessness in the area. Bernice promised a security boost in the area, assuring residents of the immediate deployment of over 20 soldiers to restore order.
And I want to say this without fear of contradiction, that by beginning of next week, we shall have a detachment in Mulima. Insecurity in Mulima is very rampant.
Residents in Murimira Zone said they live in constant fear due to increasing insecurity, while some explained that they know the perpetrators, but they fear reporting them, saying they could be attacked after the culprits are released from jail.
Of course, there are those youth that are even known to everybody, that they are thugs, they are disturbing the peace of our people, they should better style up.
The situation prompted RCC Bernice Edrin to meet with them, appealing to robbers that it is high time they styled up or risk facing the long arm of the law.
And even those people that are occasioning this injustice on our people are known to those that reside within this area. But because their parents fear that their children will be arrested, they come, attend meetings and fail to reveal all the material facts about the people who are terrorizing them here.
RCC Bernice also promised to establish a security detachment to stabilize the area as part of the government's commitment to protecting citizens.
And as a consequence, I have liaised with the commandant of the 1st Division, and we have generated the consensus that there is a need, as a matter of urgency, to establish a detach in the Murimira Zone so that the high rate of crime that has persistently distracted our people here is handled amicably.
He further appealed to leaders not to discriminate among residents and asked the community to refrain from taking the law into their own hands to avoid legal consequences.
In this place, I want to sound a warning to those that have been indulging in wrong acts that it is high time they reform, or else the long arm of the law will catch up with them.
Welcomed his assurance to bring soldiers, saying insecurity has robbed them peace of mind.
We have a very big challenge of insecurity in this area.
But we thank our RCC, Mr. Edrin, for providing us more security. And we promise that we are going to give His Excellency the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni more votes come 2026.
Benessa also urged the meeting to highlight the achievements of the NRM government and urged residents to remember them in the upcoming 2026 elections.
So Uganda is grappling with a surge in sexual violence that is fueling teenage pregnancies and leaving many girls vulnerable. The remnant generation is urging urgent action by authorities and communities to protect children and support survivors. Crispus has the details.
The State of World Population 2022 report shows nearly a quarter of women cannot refuse sex or decide on their own health care, whereas nearly half of all pregnancies globally, which translates to 121 million annually, are unintended. What began as a survivor's whispered prayer for healing has grown into the remnant generation, supporting more than 11,000 victims of sexual violence and teenage mothers across 7 districts in Uganda.
Today we are celebrating 10 years of work that we are doing to serve girls that are survivors of sexual abuse and teen mothers in Uganda. Over the years, we have been able to reach and serve at least 11,000 girls and there at least 3,000 of their babies in 7 districts in Uganda.
Unaccompanied, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Remnant Generation, says girls deserve a second chance and calls for a united response.
And some of the things that we have seen is that it is possible for these girls to be rescued, to be restored, and empowered to thrive and to live a life that is desirable and to break the patterns of generational trauma.
Eyankwata yali muganda wange yankwata lwa nsonga bali tebanjagalawo waka era tebanjagalirako ddanga bagamba bo tebazaala baana bawala era tebabaagala mu kika kyabwe ne bagamba kati okusala amagezi gonna kumukwata ne tumugoba n'avaawo waneeno tusigaza abaana abalenzi kuba be balina omugaso bwe namugamba nti ngenda kulopa n'agamba genda olope k'oligeza n'ogamba omuntu yenna nja kutta kati awo we nawulira ng'ensi nga ntamiddwa ensi nga njagala nette.
Currently, 48 girls, including teenage mothers and their babies, live at this shelter.
Bansanga ku kkubo nga sirina buyambi ne bandeeta naye okujja waneeno nali ndi lubuto nga baagala bannyambe kuba embeera gye nalimu yali mbi nnyo.
The judiciary is a very critical arm in fighting this vice of teenage pregnancy. What we want to see is that there are more convictions in the courts of law. Right now, while you have thousands of cases reported, when you go to see which cases end up in the courts and which ones are convicted, you'll find that only about less than 10% of the cases reported receive convictions.
The organization also receives at least 10 calls monthly from abused girls and reaches over 150 through schools and community outreach programs. Crispus Arinitwe, YBS News.
Now, although more than 90% of Ugandan children are breastfed, only 48% are exclusively breastfed for the recommended first 6 months. In Chaka refugee settlement, mothers' aid agencies and health workers marked World Breastfeeding Week with a call for greater awareness. Let's take a look.
Exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months is crucial for achieving the sustainable development goals, including good health, zero hunger, and well-being. The project manager at Adra Uganda, Jerry Chwanuka, wants the public to prioritize breastfeeding and build support systems for mothers.
I've partnered to celebrate this day to rhyme with the global theme, which is supporting breastfeeding, but also creating systems that promote breastfeeding. We are looking at exclusive breastfeeding to children under the age of 6 months.
The district health educator Chegegwa Ronald Mugabe reaffirmed commitment to improving food security and household income for refugees and host communities.
And that is a point where we encourage all mothers to sit and feel comfortable to breastfeed at. And this is a very great initiative as one of the ways we are promoting breastfeeding.
The Meals Officer, ADRA Uganda, Nakato Farida, explained ADRA's role in strengthening nutrition and food security through the REAL project.
Celebrating is nutrition among mothers and also breastfeeding among mothers. When you look at Chaka, the statistics are actually very much alarming that majority, over 55% of the mothers are actually suffering from malnutrition and their children. And over the 55% among the refugees actually also producing stunted children.
It's from 0 day to 6 months. In this period, a mother is not supposed to put any solid food or liquid food to feed our baby. It should be breast milk alone.
Benon Mokwaya, UBC News.
And more in our news tonight, Uganda faces a growing youth suicide crisis. In response, mental health stakeholders in partnership with the Ministry of Health will host a live listen, including Validate Empower conference on September 10th at Hotel Africana to coincide with Wild Suicide Prevention Day. Our reporter Crispus has the details.
The upcoming Youth Mental Health Awareness Conference aims to tackle the alarming rise in suicide cases among youth aged 15 years to 29 years, with suicide being the fourth leading cause of death in this age group globally. The event will bring together over 500 participants, including mental health professionals, survivors, youth advocates, and policymakers, among others.
Suicide is a big global problem. In the world today, about 700,000 people die from suicide, which is more than HIV and death from war. We have many of our young people who are isolated, who are disconnected, who are suffering not just the mental health problems, but also the psychological issues, not being connected to one another in their families, and this has led to an increase in suicide numbers.
In 2024, Uganda recorded 190 suicide attempts, 59 deaths, and 18 repeat cases, figures believed to be underreported.
When you just see somebody's routine has changed drastically, they are isolated, they are not talking, or they are talking about harming themselves, going away, life being meaningless, those are the signs.
Uganda, with only 60 psychiatrists for 45 million people, remains critically under-resourced. Dr. Daniel Chabayinze from the Ministry of Health stresses the need for a national suicide prevention strategy, focusing on early detection, stigma reduction, and coordinated support.
This conference is to highlight and bring people as we plan for prevention of suicide in Uganda. We all know that we don't have a strategy, so having this kind of conference where everybody will be brought on board, the young people, so that they speak into what aspirations we'll have in the strategy to prevent suicide in Uganda.
The September Live conference will feature survivor testimonies, a national awareness campaign, and plans to launch a youth mental health resource hub to expand access to information and services.
We have about 500 young people, with policy people, with mental health treatment experts, with those who have lived with this problem, with those who have experienced this problem in their families, inspiring, encouraging, and supporting. We'll have opportunities for young people to know where they can get help. There'll be a resource hub for young people.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Big thing about the MTN Super. Wali yakapia musite wali yakapia. MTN kabo de super mustairompia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona. MTN kabo de super mustairompia. Then you kabo de smartphone nebi akabibiona.
Get the new Kabode Super smartphone and enjoy 16 GB free. Start with a deposit of only 45,000 Uganda shillings and pay the rest mpora in daily installments of less than 1K. You can also make weekly and monthly installments. Together, our vibes are unstoppable. Terms and conditions apply.
MTN.
MTN is regulated by Uganda Communications Commission.
Omusumba Ezekiel okuva Kenya, musajja wa Katonda, Mukama amukozesa. Mujje mu crusade egenda okubeera ekirombe, manye obulamu bwammwe tebugenda kusigala kyekimu.
Uganda, are you ready for the biggest revival explosion? New Reference Center in the Church presents a revival healing crusade by pastor and an international evangelist, Ezekiel from Kenya.
Shine, shine, shine. You shine and you shine. And just in the name of Jesus.
It will be held from 13th to 17th August 2025 at Zambia, Chirombe Grounds, Kampala. Time 8 a.m. Come and take your miracle.
Mwenna abantu b'ekirombe mwenna abali awo mujje mu lukuŋŋaana. The Lord will seriously bless you.
All you are welcome. Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
At UNOC, we believe in safety.
Techno and MTN. Together, our flash snap is unstoppable. Grab the Techno Camon 40 series and get free 9 GB of MTN data valid for 3 months. Don't wait. Get your Techno Camon 40 today at Techno stores and MTN outlets. MTN is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live on UBC TV and online on YouTube under the name tag UBC TV Uganda. Opportunity Bank has marked 30 years of service in Uganda, with the Deputy Governor, Professor Augustus Nwagaba, commending its milestones and its impacts on communities, customers, and staff. We have more details.
That you have with the bank, which show
the Deputy Governor Bank of Uganda, Professor Augustus Nwagaba, has commended Opportunity Bank for its contribution to national development. He compared its mission to the world's first bank, Banque Monte dei Paschi di Siena, founded in 1472 to provide affordable credit and support commerce.
It was the same environment in France. It was just in France. And I went to the bank because this bank was created in 1472. And the first bank started, this bank in the Republic of Siena, was exactly the same
Nwagaba praised Opportunity Bank's 30-year journey of financial inclusion. The CEO of Opportunity Bank, Owen Amanya, reflected on the institution's success, resilience against cyber threats, and future growth prospects.
So again, as Opportunity Bank and Opportunity International, we worked hard and we decided to open the program, educate all children, whether boys or girls, and it's one of our most successful programs today. Thank you, and we are expanding it now to the technical and vocational institutions. Again, address the challenge that some of the children at the primary school and secondary school.
Enterprise Uganda has launched an Enterprise Skills Development Center to retool entrepreneurs for competitiveness. And Executive Director Charles Ochichi says that the center will complement government funding initiatives with practical training. Let's take a look at those details.
Skills Development Center will emphasize opportunity identification, resource management, and navigating market competition. Already, over 200 entrepreneurs have been trained in marketing and customer outreach.
Go to the global market as sellers of products that have never been tested and received elsewhere in the globe, but they exist in this country. We came here on the 1st of August. By the time we're hitting 11th of August, we have had no less than 200 Ugandans come in and commit a full week of absorbing message and a product that we proudly call Small Enterprise Accelerator Program.
An entrepreneur, Mirembe Precious, praised the training for sharpening her business skills.
My mindset has been changed completely and positively. I have learned so much, and part of the things I learned is we should not concentrate on cash as the price, but customer satisfaction. That has been my main take home. And I also learned to start and avoid the E word. The E word is excuses.
A beneficiary, Henry Chigay, highlighted entrepreneurship training as key to reducing business failure rates, especially among startups.
I've also been able to understand that you can be able to be a dual business person and still succeed by having priorities. Now, my take home here that I want to leave everyone with is the fact that wealth is not the hard cash which you have in your hands, but the cash which you get daily from the customer each and every day that you make a sale. So you do not have to concentrate on the fact that you're having the hard cash or seeking after the hard cash, but rather you should position yourself in such a way that you're selling and getting money each and every day. And as a result, you get the wisdom and you learn the skill of how to multiply your money.
And in more news, Uganda Wildlife Authority, in partnership with Prima Klima and Face the Future, has launched a conservation education center in Kibale National Park, Kamwenge District. This center will provide training and awareness to strengthen conservation in the Rwenzori region and beyond. Let's take a look at the details.
The just-launched Kibale National Park Education Center is part of ongoing efforts to raise awareness and provide practical training in research, conservation, and combating climate change.
I commissioned the Kibale National Park Conservation Education Center building by myself in cooperation with the Prima Klima, the handicraft for Prima Klima, and the handicraft for Face the Future.
The Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, according to Dr. James Musinguzi, says the center will offer training in conservation and tourism for local communities and educational institutions.
Prima Klima, in partnership with the Face the Future and Uganda Wildlife Authority, came into a consortium of 3 partners and have been able to implement a FACE project for the last 30 years. The project has been involving restoration of the forest. The forest got degraded, and therefore the consortium of 3 partners was built or put in place to restore the forest in order to be able to restore the ecosystem, for us to get the animals back, for us to promote tourism and conservation, but also to help fight the effects of climate change.
The initiative falls under the Face of Future projects, which focuses on restoring degraded forests and enhancing carbon sequestration in Kibale National Park.
I want to thank the partners, Prima Klima and Face the Future, for the support they have given to the Uganda Life Authority to help us sequester carbon by restoring the forest that was degraded, but also for supporting us to offer a conservation education center with amenities including hostels, dining area, that is going to help host.
The restoration efforts also addresses the effects of climate change caused by community-driven forest degradation.
Throughout the whole history of the project, which is now 30 years, hundreds of people every year have had employment through the project, which has helped them to improve their livelihoods, also pay for school fees or to set up their own businesses.
Since the program began 30 years ago, 7,000 hectares of degraded forests have been restored, 1.5 million tons of carbon have been requested, and about 1.4 billion Uganda shillings are generated annually through the sale of carbon credits.
We are really stepping in now to let the world know about this project, make it visible. So many projects that are out there, they are starting just with being visible, with the marketing, but there are no results yet. Here, there are the results, so let's start talking about it.
The establishment of the Kibale Conservation Education Center is expected to strengthen community resilience, improve livelihoods, protect biodiversity, and enhance research and educational initiatives.
So this center is not only for the communities, it's for the people of Uganda to come here and learn. It's for the people from all over, the researchers to come here and do research in forest restoration.
All right, and that brings us to the end of our UBC News tonight. Thank you for being a lovely audience. Allow me to send a special shout out to the TikTok fan base out there that is following this bulletin. And also remember that I am styled by La Vie Boutique, located on Grand Imperial Hotel. That's shop 8 and shop 6, and that is behind Bank of Uganda. We love you, stay blessed, and have yourselves a lovely night.